We are back. Wow, I'm really close. Wow, this is really early and I'm really close. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney Morella Weeks. I'm very sorry for my voice being croaky. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. I am getting ready for church. This is a chit chat. Get ready with me. The sun is out. It's beautiful. I want to do like a really nice pastel yellow look because I'm wearing yellow today to church. Before we even get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button below, join the family, hit the bell notification when I post, and if you like this video, if you like us chit-chatting in the morning at the crack of dawn, give it a thumbs up as well. I'm just starting off with my NYX. This is the matte finish primer. If I'm looking up here, it's because I'm looking at my mirror, so I need to see what I'm doing this morning. So this morning for primer as well, I'm using the Melanie Mills Hollywood. This is the Gleam Body Radiance. I'm using the rose gold one. I used to use the deep one, but I feel like that's a little bit too dark for my skin tone. So I'm just gonna apply this. So how have you guys been? I know I haven't, shocker. I have not been the most consistent with YouTube recently, but I did my 6-month review because I'm getting ready for July because we only have 6 months left of 2020, which I think is absolutely absurd and insane because it was just like December 31st. I swear, after you turn 21, it literally, time just goes by so fast. Like, I'm gonna be 24 in 6 months. What is going on? I was just like 15. I haven't been that consistent this summer, and that's because I've actually like been enjoying my life and going out. I haven't been in the house. If you don't know me, then you probably don't know that I'm a big homebody. Well, I was a big homebody. I don't know, I just really had to kind of look at that because I felt like I wasn't living my best life. Like, I felt like I was kind of just home because it was convenient, you know? And I wasn't being social and all of those things. So I kind of had to like just do a review on Sydney. That's what we should talk about today. Let's talk about authenticity, being authentic, authentico. But before we get into that, I'm using L'Oreal True Match in W7. I've really been enjoying a more natural look. I haven't been using a whole bunch of brushes. It's really just been me, my sponge, and you know, that's it. So I've been finding that a lot of people in 2020 or 2019 or whatever year it is, they're just not really like authentic. Like, there's no more authenticity. And if they are, it's like super rare. And I find that that's very dangerous, especially for our generation, because our generation is really good at like mimicking what's popular and what's trendy. And I feel like with that being stated, it's just like there's no more self-identity. There's no more just genuineness. Like, nobody's really truly genuine anymore because it's always like this fake facade. And I'm not for it. Like, as a genuine person, I'm not for it. Now I'm taking my LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the yellow corrector. Authenticity and the lack of it in like this today's age, I feel like a lot of people just don't have a lot of self-awareness with themselves, and that's why they feel comfortable to mimic or clone like another person or another situation or another business, you know. I'm very fortunate where I've always been a person where I've been very self-aware. Like, I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at, and I kind of thrive off of that information because it allows me to not get out of my lane. Because I find when people get out of their lane, that's when accidents start happening. Like, that's when traffic starts colliding. When all these cars start going into different lanes too fast and they don't know what they're doing. So with that being stated, one thing that I'm very thankful about is just kind of checking myself. Like, every 6 months, let's just say business-wise, I go over my goals and if I'm hitting my marks, and if I came up within those 6 months with new goals, and do they have anything to do with my end goal? Like, do my short-term strategic goals have anything to do with my long-term strategic goals? And if they don't, then that's not me, and I need to like stop. Like, I'm doing too much. So I find now, like, it's just kind of, people are just really disingenuine, and not even in a negative sense. Like, I really think people not lie to themselves, but mold themselves so much that they truly believe that that's who they are. Like, if somebody sees that the color red is trending and then they say red's their favorite color and they only wear red, they might actually hate that color red and really look better in blue. But because it's what they've been doing for so long, they've now gotten comfortable in it that they don't even realize that that's not them. I was just having this conversation yesterday with Sharon. Shout out to Sharon if you're watching this. But we were talking about just how people are just so disingenuous, like even in the church, in real life, in the corporate world, like just people are just so disingenuous and they're not authentic anymore. They're just trying to fit the mold. You want to do contour today? Let's pop off. We can do contour today. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. You guys know the drill. Today I'm going to use Espresso. It's a little bit of a lighter contour just so I'm not doing too much. I really haven't been going for like the full face beat, but today we kind of are. But I find like it's just so important, and especially like this year is so important. People don't understand how important 2019 is. Like 2020 isn't just another year. We're about to enter a new decade, and I really don't want to enter that new decade the same. Like I want to be so progressive and just, you know, accelerated with whatever I'm doing in my lifestyle and within myself. I just don't want to be the same for the next 10 years. Like, you know, and we don't really look at that. We're just like, oh, new year, new me. We do these resolutions for, you know, a month, maybe. And a lot of the resolutions aren't even us. Like a lot of the resolutions are just stereotypical resolutions. I want to save money. I want to go to the gym. And, you know, I want to, you know, be healthier this year. Simple resolutions that are really generic. Mine are really specific. Of course, I do have things like I do want to go to the gym because I actually was not doing that. But even within your resolutions and the goals that you're setting, be intentional. You know, like a lot of people don't know how to be intentional. They just do it because it's the wave. They do it because it's the hype, or they do it because it's generic. And it's like, I don't want to be the generic brand. I don't want to be the generic brand at, you know, ShopRite. I want to be the new brand, the hot brand, the cool, authentic brand that stands out on the top shelf at, you know, Whole Foods. And I'm really just finding that people just don't know how to do it. Like, I used to get aggravated or irritated when people would like, I don't know, but just be disingenuous. And I have something like, if you're in the church world, I have discernment, but if you're in the world, I can basically call a fake or a fraud out from a mile away. Like, I could just tell how people are. I just literally can see a person, read them, and be like, okay, they're this, that, and the third. And it's not in a judging sense. It's more so in a, I know your cards and now I know how to play them sense. Simple as that. Like, I know you're a liar and now I know not to trust you. Or I know that you're lustful and I know not to, you know, get comfortable around you. Like, those different types of things. And I feel like a lot of people have that gift where they can kind of just call a spade and see things as they are. But I'm also finding that people now, like, the trend is actually being organic and original. And I actually posted something on Instagram. If you're not following me, follow me on Instagram. But I posted something on Instagram that went along the sense that the best way to stand out is by being yourself. And it's really true. Like, I truly, in my whole hearts of hearts, believe in that. When you're yourself, you naturally attract genuine people. Like, if you're fake, you're going to attract fake people because that's what you're projecting, so that's what you're going to receive. When you're authentic, you're going to project like genuinity, authenticity, all of those things, and that's what you're going to receive. And you know what's crazy? Me and Frenchie were talking about this too. Shout out to Frenchie as well if you're watching this. I love you. We were like, you know, a lot of people try to get famous on Instagram by being like other people, but when they create like this persona that isn't really them, they're really just creating like a fake fan base. God forbid if these people actually do become genuine and authentic and be their natural selves and what they like to do, that's not the fan base they created. The fan base they created is something totally different. I'm using the NYX concealer in the color Fair. So I just think that it's really important to be authentic because just be yourself. Like, my thing is this, and it really boggles my mind. God only created one of you. Whoever you believe in only created one of you. There's literally only one Sydney Marlella Weeks. That's it. So why wouldn't I use that to my advantage? Why would I try to be like Sharon or Frenchie when I can be Sydney? Because there's already a Sharon and there's already a Frenchie, but there's not a Sydney. You know, and there's a need in the world. There's a need in the world for a Sydney. They already have Sharon, they already have what Frenchie's doing. But if Sydney doesn't do anything, there's a need. So why would I hinder my purpose by trying to be somebody else when I can enhance my purpose by being myself? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I think of it. I'm really specific and intentional with all that I do because I really ask myself like two questions. Like, does this have anything to do with me? Like, is this what I want to do? Do I like this? And then two, Like, is this going to benefit me? Is it going to turn out well? Will I get in trouble for this? You know, like legally, corporately, you know, personally. Is this going to hinder me or is this going to bless me? It's basically what I think about before I do any move. And I also really seek out like people. So if I'm like at a business meeting or if I'm at an event and I don't know the people there, it's not that I'm being like rude or anything. And tell me if you guys do this, but I'm just super quiet. Like, I'm super quiet because I literally need to feel out everybody there. Like, everybody in the situation, everybody at the event, everybody at the business meeting. Like, when I first meet people, I'm a totally different person. But I'm a totally different person because a lot of people, they just hop in, tell their business. Like, they be doing the most, and I don't do that. That's not me. And I find when you're quiet, you learn a lot more than when you're the one talking. I learned so much by just being quiet and just really listening is important. Listening skills. If you guys don't practice anything in these last 6 months, practice your listening skills. And I'm even practicing that more because I do like to talk. Like, don't get me wrong. I could be a chatty Cathy, but at the same time, that's only when I'm really comfortable with people. But even when I'm comfortable with people or like friends and family, I'm trying to be more intentional in my listening and actually like understanding and processing what they're saying to have like a natural, organic, and a genuine response. Like, I'm not just trying to give the okey doke or be like, oh yeah, that's wild. Like, no, I'm trying to give like a genuine response to people. And I feel like we're kind of all guilty of that, where we'll be like, oh, that's wild, or like, oh, okay, that's cool, or, you know, we're listening, but we're not really understanding or empathizing with the person. So that's one of my goals, is to definitely, you know, be a more attentive and intentional listener and responder. I'm very careful with the words that I choose. And I'm really thankful with my family's business, I had to be that way, because with staff, like when you're overstaffed, literally they'll try to get up one on you or like get over on you. And girl, you cannot be saying just any old thing, because they will take that to the labor board if you fire them and be like, well, Sydney said this, then the third. And it gets messy. It gets so messy so quick. I'm very cautious with how I respond to people, just based off of that synopsis. But with me, like, I always try to speak for myself. I can't speak for people, but with me, I try to really make sure that everything I'm doing is authentic with my lifestyle, my upbringing, you know, my morals, my goals, what I'm trying to do in this lifetime, honey. Because if it doesn't have nothing to do with me, then I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not trying to be out here frauding, because you get caught up eventually. Especially if you're out here on Instagram making this life that you really don't have, you get caught up real quick. Like, real quick. Now today I'm using the Airspun Loose Powder. This is in the extra coverage, and I mixed a little bit of my banana deep powder from the Makeup Revolution. So it's kind of like a little mixture. I'm applying a little bit of powder just because I'm using color today on my eyes, so I know there's going to be fallout, so I don't want that to get into my cream products on my face. But yeah, authenticity is really important, and I'm just trying to be my best self for the next 6 months. I really like this. I don't know, this year was kind of like a limbo year. Like, this year I feel was like a preparation year, because a lot of things, and I've been talking to a lot of people, and I'm seeing the same like trend, is that a lot of people's friends, family members, anybody that's really not for them is getting removed. And whatever they're trying to do within the next decade, they're preparing for in this year. And I know me personally, that happened to me. Like, I prayed a prayer and I was like, God, if these people ain't for me, take them out my life. And he did. And now I'm about to do some things in 2020. Like, I'm already, like, my calendar, I'm already in 2020. Like, I'm doing some traveling, I'm doing some work opportunities, I'm doing some new business ventures that I'm so excited about. You know, I had to really realize, like, not everybody, when you elevate, not everybody can come with you because they can't handle it. And they're not genuine. Back to authenticity. If they're not being their true selves around you, and mind you, you know, when you're far out, you can usually call people, but when people are close in and like dear to your heart, sometimes the closer in, the harder it is to see their actual true colors. But when it's shown to you, you better recognize it. I find that, you know, even though it stings, you can't be shocked, because as you're constantly elevating, you're constantly doing new things, you're constantly growing, you're going to lose people. And people never tell people about that. Like, people never, that's not in like the guidebook or the rule book on how to be successful. Like, with success comes, you know, separation, isolation, and basically you have to realize who's a real one and who's not. And sometimes it'll be shown to you, sometimes it won't. And you really have to evaluate the people in your life. Like, who is helping me progress? And I'm not saying like they have to be giving you opportunities or things like that, but like, does this person support me? Does this person, you know, if they don't have the monetary value to do support, do they at least come to my events, or do they do, you know, promotion for me, or do they at least repost me on their Instagram? Or, you know, if I'm going through a hard time, can I call them? I have 35 contacts in my phone, okay? 35, for the simple reason that if I call anyone in my phone book, I know they're going to answer. And if they don't answer, it's for a genuine, serious, dire, grave reason. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and I'll be right back. If you guys want a more in-depth eyebrow tutorial, check out my latest eyebrow tutorial. It's really great, but I can never talk and do my eyebrows at the same time. So I'm gonna do these and I'll be right back. Now we have some brows. I'm just gonna wipe off this powder. So yes, I went over my 6-month review. I really advise everybody to do so. I know when I post this, it's probably gonna be, no, it should be this week. July 1st makes 6 more months of 2019, so let's just make that very clear. I hate when people get like super discouraged, like, oh, I haven't gone hard enough, and you know, the year so far, so I'm just going to give up and I'm just going to try again next year. And that's how that repetitive cycle of resolutions comes out, because it's like you gave up in June, and then, you know, when November comes around, then you're all psyched because it's about to be the new year. And it's like, nah, just do your 6-month review. And if you haven't done, you know, 6 months worth of goals, you haven't done it well, then you need to hustle 2 times harder this last 6 months. And that's just how I feel. And I feel like once you kind of see what you've been doing well and what you haven't been doing at all, like one thing I have not been doing at all, my goal was to read 12 books. Girl, I'm literally still on the first one. Like, I have not progressed at all. So now I am making it a priority to sit down and read every morning or every night for like 20 minutes a day. Starting July, I need to read 2 books a month. So to make my goal, even though I didn't go as hard as I could in the beginning of the year, and yes, it would be very much so easier to read 1 book within 1 month, now I just have to hustle 2 times harder. But the moral of the story is I'm still going to reach my goal, and that is the whole end point. Like, don't make your 2019 goals your 2020 goals. Like, knock them out, start fresh, start over. However, if there's some goals you know you're not going to be able to complete within 2019 while we're here, start advising how you can even expand them greater and more in 2020. Okay, we're moving on to eyes. We're moving on to eyes. So I'm going to be using the NYX Jumbo Pencil. This is in 630 Cashmere. I'm going to be using this as a base on my eye under the yellow. I really love jumbo pencils. They're so slept on, but they're really great bases and also great eyeliners as well. This is going to give me, I didn't want to do white because sometimes white makes it pop too hard, like when you put a color on top. So I think cashmere is going to be good because it's going to make it like kind of pastel, but also give it a nice base and a nice shimmer as well. So then I'm just going to take like a little fluffy brush and kind of blend this out a little bit just so it's not so harsh. This is the Ultra Mattes V1 730 palette, and I'm just taking this yellow shade right here. This is like their colors palette. I've had this literally since like geez, like since middle school maybe. So it's super bright yellow, which I'm super excited about. And I'm just kind of just pressing this on my lid. But I find when doing like a mid-year review, you can kind of see what you are good at, what you're not doing well in, what you need to improve in still, what you've actually excelled and accelerated in. Like, one thing that I've actually excelled and accelerated in was exercising. Now, I haven't been the most consistent, but going like 3 times a week, I've really been doing that. And sometimes even more. Like, who am I? My weight loss, I've been really, you know, good in. I'm down 13 pounds, like you guys know. I've been good with going out. I've been trying to be more social. Like, I told myself in 2019, especially in the summertime, I was going to be way more social. I don't know, personally me, and if we're, you know, being honest, when I was in my last relationship, that made me more of a homebody because I really just wanted to be with him and hang out with him, and I didn't want to be with my friends. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. Like, I just wanted to be with him. Like, that was it. That was all. So I think I kind of got in that habit, and even when I'm single now, so even when I got out of that relationship, I feel like I just kind of got comfortable with being in the house. So I'm just taking a blending brush. I'm just going to kind of blend it. I don't want it all the way up. Like, I just want it kind of blended. I just became really comfortable in the house, and I feel like I'm only 23 years old. I'm about to be 24 in a little while, and I feel like that kind of hindered me because I missed out on a lot of opportunities. I missed out on a lot of events, a lot of networking events, and I would really only go out if it had to do with work or like kind of promoting my business. I feel like now I've been like super mixy, and I always looked at that as like being a bad thing. Like, oh my gosh, if I go out, I'm gonna be called mixy or like, you know, stuff like that. And I've actually been enjoying it a lot lately. Like, I've met so many new people, and I'm not talking about like just guys or anything like that. I've made new friends, and I'm just so excited for my little life because I know it was getting bad when I wasn't going out, when my mom and uncle was like, Sydney, you're 23. Why are you in the house? Like, literally, like, go have fun, go be young. And that's what I've been doing. So I've been going in and getting invited to a lot more events now because I've been meeting a lot more people in the city. And I've really just been enjoying my time out. Like, I've really just been enjoying having fun, meeting new people, being social. I feel like I'm not socially awkward. Like, I'm naturally an extroverted person. But at the same time, it's like, it's always kind of nerve-wracking when you meet new people because you don't really know all the people that's there. Like, usually the events I would go to, I was familiar with like all of the people that was there, and it was comfortable for me. But I find that making myself uncomfortable now is like a great thing because it makes you have to like work harder to network, to be social, to be socially acceptable, like all of those things. It's kind of a challenge for me. So I'm really proud of myself for putting myself out there. Some things that I need to work on is reading, because I literally, like, by the time I get home, I'm so tired. Like, I honestly just want to take a nap. I don't want to read a book, but I need to read because I find that reading just kind of makes you more, I don't know, reading just gives you so much insight and knowledge and power, and it's just a wonderful thing that I just need to do, so I'm going to do it. I'm taking the Tom Ford, this is the eye defining pen, and One Deeper. I'm taking the long side, it's a felt pen. Okay, I've created a much thicker line than I wanted to, but it's okay. I haven't done a wing liner in so long. Wow, it's actually pretty pretty though. Okay, so only thing I hate about wings is you have to make them even. Boom, black liner, done. So now I'm going to be kind of adventurous, and I'm taking the NYX. This is the Vivid Brights, and this is in Vivid Halo, which is the yellow one. And I'm just going to do like a dual wing, so I'm going to put this on top of the black. Okay, so it's okay, I'm going to go over it. I'm going to fix it. It's going to look okay, don't worry, don't worry. So going back with the black to clean this all up. Okay, so now I'm going to pop on some lashes. I think today I'm just going to throw on some Demi Wispies, and I will be right back. Okay, so I popped on my lashes. Now I'm just getting any fallout just so there's not anything on my face when I put my cream blush on. All right, so I have like 10 minutes to finish off the look. Hashtag rushing. So I'm just using my NARS multi-stick. You guys know the deal. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been. I've just been really investing in myself this year and my business. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish in 2020 for a whole decade, like long-term wise. And I feel like me planning it out now in this year has really helped me get a jump start on the year to come. I want to be so far ahead that like I'm already a year out. Like, people literally plan their lives like day to day. And that's cool for the short term, but for the long term, honey, I want to be a year out. Like, I want to be booked a year out. Because my thing is this, you can never plan too far advance. And if you know who you are, you know what you're doing, then you know what goals you want to have set and what you want to accomplish. And once you know what you want to accomplish, then honey, it's not hard to do. But going back to the authenticity side of it, you have to know who you are. Like, once you know what you like to do, and my thing is this, don't be pressured by your peers, don't be pressured by your family, don't be pressured by, you know, education or even your job that you have to be someone who you're not. I was reading this one post, I think it was on Facebook, and it was like, if you don't like your circle, change it. If you don't like your city, move. If you don't like your job, quit. Now, there's some extensions to that, so make sure like you have a backup job or something, or you find like a career that you really enjoy. Make sure that, you know, if your friends aren't really friends, then you don't cut them off, and you might have to be by yourself for a while. Let me tell you something, when you're by yourself and you really get to understand what you like to do and what you want to do and what you enjoy, then it kind of opens up a whole new perspective that when people do come back around or you do make new friends, people never have that influence on you again to be able to manipulate or kind of get you to conform to what they want, because you know who you are. So I say it's always good to kind of review who's in your circle, at least like every 6 months. every 6 months is a good review time, I would say, personally. But you have to be you. Like, don't try to conform to be like these little Instagram celebrities or these little celebrities on Love and Hip Hop or whatever them shows are. Just be yourself, you know? And whatever is for you, you know, will be for you. If it is for you, the market will never be too saturated, too crowded, too full, too busy to allow you in if it's for you. I'm just using MAC Gold Deposit to set my face. You guys know the deal. Like, I literally use the same products in the same tutorials. Like, this is not new. But you have to make sure that you're yourself and really dedicate 2019, the rest of it, and 2020 to being you and finding out what you like to do. Like, I know now I like to take walks in nature. Like, nature is my jam. I love going to the gym, but I find that I actually burn more calories. Shout out to the nature. And I also really just enjoy like seeing all of God's creations and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm corny. You know, really find out what you want. Like, what does Sydney want? What does Sydney like to do? What does Sydney like to eat? Personally, me, I'm not a tomatoes person. I don't really understand the concept of fruit vegetables bursting in your mouth. I don't get it. I'm using Larry Geller's Gilded Honey, and I'm just putting it on a fluffy brush. I don't want to be too highlighted because my eyes are already pretty extreme. But since I don't like tomatoes, I would not be going to a tomato festival. I would not be eating tomatoes in my food. And just because my friends might want to go or my friends and family might want to eat this certain dish, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm not eating it. I'm not going to be around it. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that applies to anything in life. Just take that simple example of tomatoes and apply that to whatever's going on with your situation. So to finish the eyes off, I'm just going back in with this cashmere on my lower lash line and my waterline. I've been really into wing liner lately. I don't know who. Like, what in the Nicki Minaj 2008 is going on with me? Now I'm just taking the leftover yellow, just applying that on my bottom waterline. I'm taking the Maybelline Great Lash Lots of Lashes. This is in the Blackest Black. And Maybelline Lots of Lashes in Blackest Black. I'm applying that to my lower. Okay, for lips, I'm taking NYX lip pencil in Truffle. I feel like once I get a lip combo I really enjoy, I just stick with it. Anybody like that? I'm taking the e.l.f. lip liqueur. This is their clear gloss. It looks nude because like the wand stained. This is the best lip gloss ever. I don't care what anybody says. This is even better than Glossier's clear gloss. In my humble opinion, it is. Every time I go to Walmart, I literally just like get the shell because it's so good. I just thought with such a bright eye, I was just going to do like a nice little nude lip. I'm not going to do my brow gel until after I throw my wig on, just because when you throw a wig on, sometimes it messes with your brows. So that's going to be after, but I will be using the Glossier Boy Brow in black. And then to set my face, I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And this is the finished look, so I will be back. Okay, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed our chit chat today. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments how you're doing, what you want to see next. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification so you can know when I post. Join the family. I love you all so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.